Excellencies, friends and colleagues, it's a pleasure to join you for the 7th Asia-Pacific Forum on Sustainable Development. I want to convey my thanks to the Executive Secretary, my sister, Amina J, for bringing us together in this alternative format. Today's meeting takes place in truly unprecedented times. The COVID-19 pandemic is taking hundreds of thousands of lives. It is causing massive human suffering and a huge social and economic disruption. And it poses a particular risk to the world's most vulnerable countries and people. In the face of such a crisis, we are reminded of our common humanity, our interdependence, and the critical importance of effective international cooperation. We are reminded also of the urgent need to deliver on the Sustainable Development Goals through the decade of action that we are embarking on this year. As you prepare for your deliberations today, allow me to highlight 3 key points. First, the state of play. We are now in the 5th year of the SDGs, and it is fair to say that we are a long way from where we need to be. Even before COVID-19, at a global level, we were not on track to end poverty, provide opportunity for all, and achieve gender equality or win the race against climate change. As the 2020 ESCAP SDG Progress Report demonstrates, this is also the case for countries in the Asia-Pacific region. Its headline finding is deeply concerning. Without a significant change in course, the region could miss the SDGs by 2030 and could see worse outcomes on 20% of its targets in 2030 than in 2015, especially on the environmental side. At a global level, it is such implementation gaps on health, education, social protection and environmental sustainability that have left our world so vulnerable to the COVID-19 crisis. In 2020 alone, up to 50 million more people are projected to fall into extreme poverty, disruption to food systems, and reduced access to healthcare and education and vaccination programs that will have a profound effect on the world's most vulnerable people. All the while, major threats to our health and survival, such as climate change and biodiversity loss, remain as grave as ever. I would like to commend the governments of the Asia-Pacific region for their effective response to the ongoing health emergency. This has helped to save lives, and it can inspire other governments that have not yet been hit by the virus. At the same time, the Asia-Pacific region is projected to suffer significant socioeconomic impacts, all of which will make our journey to success by 2030 all the more challenging. This is where we stand today, Excellencies. The second point I would like to highlight relates to the way forward. We have reached a point of great risk and opportunity for our world. If we are to tackle the fragilities this crisis has exposed, then our recovery must break with the past. It must pursue equality, inclusion, sustainability and transformation. In short, it must bring the fundamental calling of the 2030 Agenda to life. That means protecting the development gains of the past 2 decades, putting resilience and sustainability at the core of investment and recovery packages, and reorienting our economic models to generate green jobs and reduce pressure on our natural environment. It means tackling debt issues and creating the fiscal space needed to invest in chronically underfunded public services such as social protection and healthcare. Using the momentum of the response to enable digital connectivity for all and reimagine education, and pursuing change in every sphere to overcome the single greatest obstacle to inclusiveness in our world today, gender equality. These issues are at the core of the UN's package for the immediate socioeconomic response that will guide us, the support provided by 131 country teams serving 162 countries and territories over the coming 12 to 18 months. Excellencies, the third point I wish to make relates to international and regional cooperation. COVID-19 is a reminder that so many of the challenges people and governments face today are cross-border in nature that require global and regional solutions. Yet our current models and levels of international cooperation are simply not up to the task. As we mark the 75th anniversary of the United Nations and work to recover better, we must revive international cooperation. For our part, the UN development system has been working to transform itself, to be more effective, efficient and agile, to be better able to respond to country needs and priorities. We are well advanced in a review of the UN's regional architecture that will culminate in much greater coordination, impact, and clarity on the UN's value in each region. Similarly, we have worked this past year to sharpen our proposals for strengthening our offer to small island developing states serviced by the UN's multi-country offices. The UN's Economic and Social Council will be considering our proposals in the coming weeks, and we hope to start transitioning to a new UN regional architecture in the second semester. Stepping up our response in the region is an absolute necessity to overcome COVID-19 and remain firmly on track for 2030. On the ground, our United Nations resident coordinators are driving practical solutions to leverage the assets of all UN entities in the COVID-19 response, optimizing resources and expanding the fiscal space to respond. And our regional colleagues are providing us with analysis of impacts in the region and working together to support cross-border dimensions. Excellencies, colleagues, in times like these, it may seem that we've lost our way. But we have the 2030 Agenda as our North Star, our compass. It remains an agenda of immense wisdom and foresight for whose time has surely come. You can count on the United Nations to support you as we exit this crisis and work to recover better during this decade of action. I thank you.